The recent wave of activism and protests and activity that has been in the news for the last 3 weeks or so seems to break down into two different areas that are of concern to all of us. One of them is simply the inequality of the way, which has gotten much worse with the COVID epidemic, because many of the victims or patients with severe disease are from minorities, particularly black, but also others, immigrants and so forth. Many of them are in many of the cities. And many of the more dangerous jobs that makes it hard to do social distancing tend to be proportionally done more by minorities. So, and then many of the jobs that have been lost in businesses and restaurants, in some of the retail jobs and various other jobs that have been lost, some of them permanently, are more, a larger proportion are held by minorities. So this is certainly added to the economic inequality between different groups of people, and that, if you want to measure it, would include race. The other thing is this, however, is the fact with the Black Lives Matter movement, the insistence that there is something, we have to make a special effort to eliminate the systemic racism from the past against that one group that was impacted by slavery and then segregation, going back from the time of the American Revolution and the Civil War and Reconstruction and everything, as opposed to the needs of various other groups. Now, that also probably would include Native Americans, because of course in various kinds of ways we took their lands and settled them in the South and the Midwest, and well, basically everywhere we settled on their lands and so forth, and the whole history of reservations and everything, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, there's a separate branch of all this that is demanding now some sort of systematic reparations, but it's not very clear how you would actually carry them out. But in any case, from the point of view of somebody that writes about this like me and blogs about it and so forth, I have to pay attention to both of them, and yet they're both a little bit separate.